Good morning. I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the kitchen. This week in the kitchen, we're going to be cooking up wonderful dishes, and we're also going to be making some things that are pretty and nice for our table. And most of all, we're going to be spending time with our family. And so, if you want to join me in the kitchen, I hope first that you'll subscribe, and so that you'll know when I upload, you'll hit the notifications bell below. Now, beyond that, I hope you will have a blessed week this week in the kitchen. So, without further ado, let's get to cooking. We are preparing a chicken sausage with cheese tortellini. I am putting the tortellini in water, and it was actually boiling hot water that I had salted. And you can see that I'm stirring around so that those tortellini will have a chance to come back to a boil. I'm going to probably give it about 5 minutes or so, or at least that's what it says on the package. But anyway, we're going to let that come back to a boil. Now, you'll notice that over in the other pan, I have placed a little drizzle of oil, and I'm going to cut these. It's called chicken hardwood smoked sausage, and it's by Hillshire Farm. Now I've cut them diagonally, and I've placed them into this skillet so that they can start to brown. When you cut them diagonally, it gives them more surface contact with the skillet. And once I got that all in, you can see that the tortellini, needless to say, was ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to drain this, because I don't want them to get so soggy and just cook away. I want their integrity to hold. So you can see that I'm giving them a little stir just to give them another minute or two, and I'm taking them off the heat, and then I'll actually drain them. Now, on the sausages. Now, of course, they have a flavor. But I'm adding in first some pepperoncino. I'm sprinkling in some black pepper. I'm going to add in some garlic and some onion powder. I didn't salt it at this point because I thought, well, I'll wait until I've gotten everything in, and then I'll add the salt. Now I'm flipping those sausages over, and you can see that there's nice brown spots on the bottom of this pan. Now once they're brown, a little brown on each side, then I'm going to remove them and start to add the vegetables to the pan. But I'm going to give it some time and just get everything flipped over. Some of those seasonings will actually probably end up a little bit on the bottom of the pan, and that's just fine because it's just going to add more and more flavor to the dish. All right, everybody's happy in the pot. So let's give them a couple of minutes. The great thing about this dish is that it really is a 30-minute dish. It doesn't take any longer than 30 minutes. 30 minutes, you will be sitting at your table, and that's a great thing. Now I'm in the process of taking the pasta, the cheese tortellini, over to the sink, and I am draining that over the sink. And I'm just going to sit them off to the side so they'll have a chance to dry just a bit. And then, of course, they will be added back into the pot. Well, it looks like our sausages are ready. I'm kind of moving them around because while I want them to brown, I don't want them to burn. So I'm putting them on the plate. And you'll see that I'm trying not to, I'm using things that I can dispose of. So I'm using a paper plate for the meat. Let's face it, some nights we want things to just, we want to be able to cook it fast. We want to be able to clean up equally as fast. So there we go. We've almost got all of the sausages on the plate. And now it's time to add the veggies. I have cut up some onions and some green peppers. The green peppers I placed in little slithers, and the onions I actually diced. I'm going to move them around, but you'll see that the bottom's getting a little brown, so I am going to add just a smidget of oil to the bottom of the pan. As you know, I started with just a tiny bit of oil with the sausages. There we go. That's much better. Let's give them a good stir. And I'm going to cut the heat down just a little bit. Now, in addition to these vegetables, I'm going to add a can of crushed tomatoes. Crushed tomatoes. Now, these crushed tomatoes were actually in a large can, and I had used a portion of it with another dish. So this is what was left. I'm going to pop it right into the middle of this pan. There we go. Now let's break that up. You'll see that it's ready to go. I'm breaking it up. And you'll also start to notice that the brown stickies from the chicken sausage on the bottom is coming up. I'm also going to add a scoop of basil pesto, just to give it that little extra Italian taste. And that's about a good heaping tablespoon. And yes, I used the end of the spoon. And I had just a smidget of garlic, so I'm going to toss all that's in there out, and I'm going to rinse the jar out just a bit because we're going to need some liquid anyway. There we go. And we'll pour that in. There we go. I'm going to use that same end, and I'm going to stir. Now notice I haven't re-seasoned at all. I'm still using the same seasonings. And I'm going to use the flat end of my spatula to pull up those goodies that are on the bottom of the pan. All right, we've added the mixed vegetables to the mixture. I'm giving that a really good stir because this is going to have to simmer for just a little while. So I've turned up the heat a bit just to bring all of that to a bubble. Now it's time to add the sausages back into the skillet. And on top of that, I'm going to add the tortellini. Now the tortellini, while yes, they did cook a bit, but they're still pretty tough. So they're not quite ready for us to have for dinner. So I am going to push them and move them around in this mixture so that while the mixture is bubbling, the tortellini will also get nice and tender. We do not want it to cook to the point of where it falls apart, but we do want it to cook to where it's just a tiny bit past al dente. So I'm moving that around until I can get everything simmered in. And when I did that, I saw that it was a little dry.
I want you to take a look
so you're going to see that I will add about a cup more of liquid.
The tortellinis have stayed together. They're nice and tender. You can see the sauce that has developed down in the pan. And I'm just mixing this up for a moment just to make sure that everybody in this skillet is happy. And I certainly think so. Now, what are you cooking in your kitchen this week? I hope you'll take the time to jot whatever that is down in the comments below.
10 minutes
so
to come to
let's
that
take
bubble.
a bite. I'm going to get a little cheese tortellini.
This simmer.
I'm going to get some of that chicken sausage. And it is hot. Notice I had to take the sausage off because it was just too hot. Woo! The sausage is delicious. And let's taste that cheese tortellini. My mouth is full. There we go. Oh, this is good stuff. It's delicious. I pray that your evening has been blessed. Now what we're going to do with this dish, I'm going to serve it with a beautiful salad and have the cheese tortellini on the side. Salads are always good. Include those fresh vegetables and make them a part of your evening. This week in the kitchen, we have had such a blessed time together. We've been able to laugh, we've been able to play, we've been able to just spend time together as friends and family.
I hope God continues to bless you and keep you safe as you journey on the rest of this year. I hope that you will come back to my channel. I hope that you are feeling wonderful, and if not, that God will give you the strength to work through whatever it is that is troubling your body at this time. Now, spend some time this week with your family. Spend some time this week loving on them each and every day. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful time in the kitchen.